Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara, coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada, and welcome to vlog number 5. It is hard to believe that I've reached 5 already. This is the 5th week of doing this. So, it is Wednesday. I didn't log in on Monday or Tuesday because I had nothing to say. Nothing has been happening around here and I just couldn't think of anything to talk about. So Monday I thought, oh, I'll wait until Tuesday. And then Tuesday comes along and I'm just racking my brain for what I could talk about and nothing. So I waited another day, and I have to log on today or else the whole week's gonna have gone by. So I'm working in a color by number book right now. It is one of these color by numbers book. That's what the series is called, and this is the one Happiness, and it is by Arpad Olby. So I'll just show you what I've done so far in it. Did the title page and done this one. Still have that one to do. These are from pictures that are in the book. And then this is the only one that I did in pencil. When I first got this book, I guess I decided I wanted to see what pencil would be like, and then I went back to using ultrafine permanent markers, and I'm doing a black border around them. I think it looks nice. I've got a few books that I'm doing that, and I've been using Sharpies or other like big alcohol markers, permanent markers that I get from the dollar store. And I did try using a Posca on one page, but I decided against it. So this is my favorite. I just love that. There, this is the one. It kind of made the edges of the paper curl because the paint is heavier on that side. And this was the one that's on the front. Now I'm working on this one, which is quite an intricate one. There's a lot of teeny weeny little spaces. So I was working on 23, and I am looking for very dark browns. I can't tell if that's brown or gray. Oh, it's definitely gray. I had it picked out. Don't have a lot of browns. I need another set of Bic ultrafines and another set of Sharpie ultrafines. I only have one other set of ultrafines in here, and that's the Shuttle Arts. I'm okay for those. Where is it? Oh, let's just use this one. This is a Sharpie. Oh man, the lids are so hard to get off the ultrafines. So let's see, we're doing 23s. So I guess I'll start off like I did last week by giving an update on Romantic Country, the third tale. You ready? You need to sit down if you're not already and hold on to the edge of your seat. It's on Etsy. On Sunday night at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was up had nothing to do, I logged on to Etsy, and it is just a habit for me to type in Erie as soon as I get to Etsy, because, well, I'm looking for the third tale, and if she ever comes out with a new book, I want to be there. And also checking to make sure that the third of the Tracing Around the World book is still available, because I want to get that next. And guess what I found? One copy of Romantic Country, the third tale. And it was being sold by the seller that I buy from, that I buy my Japanese books from on Etsy. And her name is, or the store's name is, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Pompadour. I always want to say Pompadour because that's a word, but I know there isn't a second P in there, so I think it's Pompadour. And so I clicked on it, I clicked buy, and I purchased it. So I am like so excited that I have Romantic Country, the third tale, the Japanese edition, coming to me from Japan. So my dreams have been answered, and I didn't have to wait that long either. It hasn't been that long since it originally went out of print. So guys, if you need that book as much as I needed it, then get yourself onto Etsy and start stocking it, because all the sellers who sell Japanese books are going to start having it, or they already have, obviously. So you just got to get there when there's a copy available, because for the first little while they're all gonna they're gonna go like lightning. So if you don't find any during the day, it's a good idea to do what I did and log in the wee hours of the morning. Then actually it's probably best to log in when it's the wee hours of the morning for North America, because we all know that the biggest number of people on the internet are Americans. So you want the Americans to be in bed. Now for me, since I live in Canada, it's the same time. There's only a few hours difference between me and certain parts of the States. So if you don't live in North America, then kind of calculate the time, and when it's the wee hours of the morning in North America, then that's when you want to go have a look, because there won't be as many people on there. So yeah, I am really excited. I cannot wait, guys. Of course I'm going to have to, and I will, because I have patience. So yes, that's the big news of the week. I think it's not going to get any better than that. So like I said, nothing happened on Monday or Tuesday. This morning, it was fairly early in the morning, probably around, I probably started around 8:30. I filmed a video that's going to go up tomorrow, so you'll have already seen it, because we're talking, as you're watching this, we're talking the Wednesday, oh my goodness, is it Wednesday or Tuesday? Oh man, don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, actually Actually, I think today is Tuesday. See, it's been so boring around here. It feels like 2 days have gone by. Only one has. So yeah, as you're listening to this, it was the past Wednesday that this video came up, the one that I filmed today, and that was for a new set of alcohol markers, and it's a brand I've never used before, and I explain in the video why I have them. And so that took pretty close to an hour, and it's not even a large set. It has 66 markers in it, but I do a lot of talking about colors. I could go on forever about my art supplies, so hopefully it didn't bore everybody to death. So that's what I did this morning, and then I basically have just been, there's nothing, I mean, okay, I shouldn't say there's nothing because that's rude, but there's not a lot of stuff being uploaded onto YouTube today. There's been some stuff. Some people have uploaded stuff, but it's been short. I had a couple of longer videos to watch, so I watched them, and then there was just short ones that were uploaded all day. It's 4 o'clock right now in the afternoon. Well, it's coming up to evening. There is a ginormous rain cloud over my house and my street. So then through people who commented on my couple of my videos, I found two new people who have channels, and one of them is a brand spanking new channel, and the other one is they started at the beginning of last year, I think, or maybe this year, and then she kind of let it go, and now she's back at it, and they both had collection videos up, so that gave me something to watch. Okay, now we're getting into the tricky part. I think I'm going to go down here, and here, and here, and then the street. Oh, so, the brand spanking new channel is called Pat, and let me see, I wrote it down. It's called Coloring with Pat and Wilson, and coloring is spelt the American way. So, if you guys want to go over there, she is brand spanking new, not getting any traffic at the moment. So if you guys want to go over there and show her some love, that would be nice. Welcome her into the community. And then the other one is a lady that I knew of already because she's commented before, and I also know her from Instagram, and that is, what is her channel called? Shayna in Colorland. And that's spelt the American way too. Color. And she's got some good videos there. I spent quite some time watching her stuff. So go on over and show her some love too. So that's what I spent the rest of the day doing, coloring. This morning I was reading. The book that I'm reading now is, let's see if I can remember what it's called. I cannot remember what it's called. I'm going to have to get back to you. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. But it was really good. I'm past the 50% mark on it already. Oh, my mouth is dry. I'm not going to be able to talk for long today. But it starts 1 year after an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old girl went missing, and it's a British book. And it's the anniversary, and so it kind of puts us right into where all the people involved in this, the parents, there's a witness, and she has 3 friends, and there's a private investigator involved as well. So we get their perspective. It's written from each of those persons' point of views, which is one of my absolute favorite literary devices, is when it constantly switches from one person's point of view to another person's point of view, each one propelling the story a little further. So yeah, so we're finding out stuff, secrets. It's like everybody has a secret, and they're starting to they did like a Crime Stopper show, and they got some new tips, and so now the secrets are starting to come to light. And it's really good. Nice, fast-paced, interesting story, interesting secrets and characters. So yeah, another good one. So that's what I did this morning. For my coloring lately, for the last little while, I have been on a kick. There's 2 things that I have been coloring like crazy, and that's mandalas and color by numbers. I've just been really, I've colored some other stuff. You know, I did some Coloring Heaven magazine. I did some Rita Berman, and did some Jade Summer. So, and Erie. I'm gonna be coloring in her books every month right now because I just love them. But those are in between my mandalas and my color by numbers because I just can't seem to get enough of them this month. And they're both equal. It's like, okay, so now I do a color by number, and now it's time to switch to mandalas, then it's back to color by number, then it's back to mandalas. Oh my goodness. I can't do anything without organizing it into how I'm going to do it. And usually there's a pattern to it. So there's something that I've been thinking about is people will say in like my comments and other people's comments too, will say when somebody is when the video was about color by numbers or mandalas or I don't know, something simple, they'll say that it's mindless coloring. But then I think about that, about what exactly is mindless coloring? Well, it's when you stop thinking. I mean, there's no mind involved, right? It's so you stop thinking about the things that you normally think about. You kind of just go into a lull, you know, kind of like maybe a zen, where you're just concentrating on, or you're not even concentrating on what you're doing, because it's mindless. It's not taking any of your mind to do it. Your mind is blank. So you're resting your brain, and you're kind of like in a state of peace. Well, isn't that what mindfulness is? Is to relax ourselves and pay attention to our bodies and get rid of our stress and do things that are peace-inducing to our body. So when we say mindless coloring, do we not really mean mindful coloring? Because mindfulness does not mean to fill your mind. It means the same as losing what's in your mind, like mindless. There's less in your brain when you're becoming mindful. You know, when you look in those mindful magazines and stuff, there's always like yoga and meditation and, you know, kind of like new agey stuff. And so, no, that's just kind of what's been going through in my mind. So don't think I'm going to say mindless coloring anymore, because it isn't. I'm going to say that it's given me some mindfulness, or that it's mindful coloring, not mindless coloring. So I don't know. Anyways, that's probably just me and my love for words and what I'm always I'm not always thinking about, but I'm just intrigued by words and what they mean. And so, of course, this is a type of thing that I think about a lot. So, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that when we say mindless coloring, we're really meaning mindful coloring? Tell me what you think. So that's my big deep thought of the day. And with that, I think I have emptied my mind. I have reached a state of mindfulness. So, I don't know. I think that I'm probably going to sign off for today, because that's about all I have to say. So hopefully something will happen for me to talk about for tomorrow's logging, because I'm going to make sure I log in for the rest of the days this week. Now, talking about time, last week what I was trying to do was to get an hour and a half. Didn't work. We just barely made it over an hour. So that was kind of not what I was trying to do. I have 1 week when I think the video's too long, and then the next week I have a video which I think is too short. So I think I'm just going to have to not try and do anything when I'm filming. I think that what I need to do is just look at the time when I'm finished and add them up. And if I start getting close to 2 hours, then I think I should just film a wrap-up, if I didn't naturally end at that point. Because, like, what do you think? Like, do you think I should be aiming for an hour and a half? Or is it okay with you guys if I just range somewhere between an hour and not 2 hours. Like, I definitely don't want this to be 2 hours. But, maybe, you know, like my longest one so far was an hour and 45 minutes. So would it be okay if these vlogs were anywhere between just over an hour to an hour and 45, and I didn't concentrate so hard on trying to make it an hour and a half? Or do you really want me to concentrate on the time? Because, you know, an hour is too short, 2 hours, an hour and 45 is too long. You know, you need me to work out something to get my timings right. I don't know, that's another thing you can maybe tell me what your opinion is of that. Would you watch it if it was an hour and 45 minutes? Or are you going to look at that and go, oh, it's so long this time? That's what I do when I see a video, somebody's video has gone to 3 hours. If it's just over 2 hours, I'm okay getting in there. Well, once it starts heading up to 3 hours, I just look at it and go, oh, that's too long, and I skip it. That's the time I'll sit with you. So yeah, tell me what you're looking at in a video you watch time-wise. So I'm gonna log off for today and come back tomorrow. And tomorrow I will really tell you what day it is, because as soon as I get off here, I'm going to check and see if it's Tuesday or Wednesday. But I am going to say right now that I'm pretty positive that it's Tuesday. So I'm signing off, but in a second you will have me back telling you what day it really is. So logging off for the day. Hello, I'm logging in on Friday and it is exactly 7 p.m. Now, before I go any further, I want to let you know that the last time I logged in, it most definitely was Wednesday. I don't know why I let myself get so confused about what day it was, but yes, it was Wednesday. So today is Friday, meaning I didn't log in yesterday. I kept thinking about it. I have a question that someone asked me in the comments, and I was going to answer that question. It's one that'll take some time, so I thought it would make a good story to tell while I color and chatted. But in the meantime, I have been tagged by Kate, and Kate's coloring, oh man, I'm sure she used to be Corner, and she's now Haven. Kate's Coloring Haven. Okay, sorry, I didn't quite get that right, Kate. Oh dear, my bad. So she tagged me in the Get to Know More About Me tag, and there are 34 questions, so that most definitely will take up time to answer these questions. And I'm just going over and getting my pencils, because as you know, there's always one thing I forget to bring over after I'm all ready. But I did remember to wear my glasses this time, so that's a bonus. So I'm coloring out of Erie's second book, Trace Around the World Festivals. So I am in the June section, and I've already colored a picture, and I just really felt like doing another one before the end of the month. So I've looked through the June section, and the table of contents is separated by month for this festivals one. And while everything is in Chinese, they do list the month names in English. So you can use the table of contents to find the month. And then there are thumbnails of, oh, now I need my swatch book, which isn't far. Well, it is, but I know where it is. Oof. Okay, there we go. I have that. What was I saying? But yeah, it has thumbnails of the pictures in the table of contents of all of the pages listed by month. So I picked out the picture I'm going to color from June, which is this one right here. We have our duck, and we have our cat that we're familiar with from the romantic country ones. Now, none of the information is in English, it's all in Japanese, so I have no idea what festival or custom this is describing here. I do notice that these are, I wanted to say Nordic knits, but I know they're not Fair Isle, because those are not Fair Isle patterns. So they're either Nordic mittens or Scandinavian as a whole. Of course, they could be some other. Now here's a blanket that's knit with this. A lot of people just simply call it Fair Isle, but Fair Isle actually is a place in the world, and they have their own distinct style as opposed to other places in the world. So it's commonly known in the coloring world as stranded knitting, meaning you're coloring more than one, you're carrying more than one color and leaving the strands across the background. So anyways, I'm going to go with this being some sort of Nordic picture, because here we have a knit shawl with the two color knitting. Yeah, and these baskets could this basket could possibly have a band on it. Yes, I think I've picked a good idea for what it could be. Of course, it could be completely different. So, I think I will start with the wicker baskets, because I'm going to have to pick out some wicker colors. So once I get started coloring here, we will get into the questions. So, color softs are at the beginning. Oh, here they are. They have a tag. These are Derwent Color Softs, and they are one of my most favorite sets of pencils. Now I need to get my pencil sharpener and my shavings tub. Alright, got those now. Well, hopefully we'll have everything by the time. And it's a good thing I have a small room. My back is actually doing pretty good right now. It hasn't been good all day, but at this moment it is, so taking advantage of that. Let me dump out this sharpener. It's too full. Sorry about the arm. Alright, so what have we got for wicker shades? Oh, here we go. These will do. 580, 590. Okay, so let's go with 580. That's the light color. 590 is a darker color. And 560. That's another light color. So I'm just going to be straight coloring. There'll be no fanciness going on here, no blends, no 3-color, 2-color, whatever's, just plain old blending. And I'm going to sharpen my pencils because they're all a little bit on the dull side. This is the first time using this sharpener with these pencils, so I may have to switch, don't know. Okay, that's nice. Now, I don't like these to have pointy points. I just like them to have nice ends. Okay, I don't think this sharpener is working so great. Did I bring the other one over? Yeah. Okay, let's try to resharpen that one. Yeah, I am just absolutely annoyed because I have, what is it? An M? No, it's not the M and R. It's the other one. Oh, I can't even think of what it's called. I've been missing it for so long. Anyways, I have an absolutely fantastic sharpener that works on all my pencils, and I've lost it. And it has not gone anywhere except for my bed. So we have torn it and the surrounding areas apart looking for it, and we can't find it. So we're going to have to do it again, but like get into all the tiny little bits better, because it's got to be there. I mean, if you've only had something in one spot, it has to be there. It's not lost. You just haven't found it yet. I like to say that because lost means it's gone forever, but my sharpener does not have legs. It doesn't have any kind of foot on the bottom of it to move with, so it's wherever I allowed it to go. We will find it, and it's the name of it I will blurt it out. I know it will come to me. So I'm giving you a bit of a close-up here. Now these pictures are done in a yellow-green color, so you may not be able to see the picture on there. I can see it perfectly fine. I mean, it's light because it's yellow-green, but it's not invisible or anywhere near it. So don't be afraid of that if you consider these books by Erie. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. So I'm going to be taking lots of sips because I suffer from dry mouth, and it's really bothering me right now, and I'm out of the special mouthwash that I use. So of course, Papa doesn't work properly on my dry mouth because I actually need a moisturizer, not just something wet. Okay, doke, so let's start with the ochre. I think this can be our darkest item. It's got a point on it. If they have points, I break them, which I don't like. Don't like that. Okay, so I think we are ready to start with the questions. Now I've watched quite a few people doing these, so I do know what the questions are, and as I've heard people answering their questions, I have thought about what my answers will be, but I have not read all the questions, and some of them I am going to have to think about. And I also do not know who I'm going to tag. I want to tag people who commented on my last color and chat. So I'm going to be going back there and seeing if I can find 3 people who commented on my last color and chat that have channels. So if that was you, then you may be tagged. And I'm not going to count anybody who comments on that video today, as of this moment forward. So you can't just go running over there to comment to get your name tagged. Okay, it's only people who have already commented. And I'm going to do things like that. I am going to pull people's names from the commenters on my vlogs, and you guys will be the ones who get stuff, or get stuff done to you, like being tagged. So, the first question on, and another thing is, I think this question originated with crafters, and the word craft and crafty appear in the questions. I'm going to change those to color because that is the main craft that I do at the moment, and I don't really think of coloring as a craft. It's a hobby, and it's an art form. It's not a craft, not in my definition of the word. It would be an art form, but I also consider it a hobby. So, I guess this is the first time I have colored on screen with pencils. So yay, that's something new. I do just straight color. Okay, so first question is easy. I can answer this one. What is your name? My Christian names are Nicola Jane. First name is Nicola. And hardly anybody can say that right. It actually, I'm saying it as Nicola, but when people say my name, they should say Nicola. It should be 2 syllables, even though the name, when pronunciated correctly in proper society, we will say Nicola. But normal people speaking to each other and to me will say Nicola. And nobody here in Canada can do that. What is your nickname? Well, my nickname is Nikki. And at first I just wanted that to be my nickname. I was forever wanting the teachers to call me Nikki or Jane, my middle name, if they had to, because none of my teachers could say my name, Nicola. But back in the 70s, when I was in elementary school, they insisted upon calling you by your Christian name. They would not accept any short forms or middle names whatsoever. So there you go. And nobody started calling me Nikki until I moved out of home, which was 19. I moved out of home at 19. And I started telling everybody I met in my jobs and so forth that my name was Nikki, and then that's what it became. So, 2, I'll cross these off so I know where I am if I lose track. 2, what is your nickname? I said Nikki. I answered that one. Okay, 3, do you like your name? Well, I think I've already expanded on this. I don't like my name because, okay, let's just say, as a kid, I absolutely hated my name. As I grew, my opinion of my name changed. Now I do like it, but I prefer not to be called by it. I prefer Nikki. It's more who I am. So to the question, do I like my name? It's yes, but I don't like to use it. So 4, when is your birthday? Well, my birthday is coming up. My birthday month is July, and the date of my birthday is the 12th, July 12th. Sorry, I'm just concentrating. Whenever, see, I kind of do the tracing thing with these books because when I color a spot, even with dark black lines, I trace around it and then color inside. It's just the way I color. I don't make it darker when I'm doing the tracing. I want it all to match in, but it's just kind of like I need that border. Are you seeing what I'm coloring? Yes. Okay, so this is on. Up to here is on. Okay, well that's over the picture. And here is on. Okay, so not quite the bottom of the picture. Okay, I think I should be able to keep you in color. And I don't want to zoom anymore because, I mean, I'm straight coloring. There's nothing for you to learn. I think straight coloring comes naturally to everybody. Okay, so I answered when is my birthday. What are 3 of your favorite colors? Okay, well, I can answer that pretty quickly, too. My favorite colors are lime green, red, and any shade of turquoise, from the blue turquoises, which are, you know, your aquamarines, to your green turquoises. I love them all. Now, I think those can be, I need to sharpen this, I think those can be beads on there. Cross that off. Okay, 6. What are 3 of your favorite quotes? I don't use quotes in my daily living. I guess if I'm repeating what somebody said, I will often make reference to the Bible, but I don't have quotes memorized. I'm not like spouting Bible. I forgot the scripture. I don't quote Bible scripture, but I do paraphrase some of it if it needs to come up in one of my conversations. At some point I wrote down quotes that I liked when I heard them, but they didn't come into my general life. If there are any favorite quotes I have, they will be snarky and on the dark side of humor, because that's where my humor lies. I'm not a snarky well, I suppose I can be snarky, but that's in really private company. You know, I have to really know you well to do that. But I always laugh at other people's snarkiness. So yeah, I'm not going to do any more on that. What is your favorite show, TV, YouTube, movie? Okay, so I don't know what the difference is between show and the other three, because I call a TV show, and I call, well, you know, if they're talking about like Broadway show, I do not like people singing for no reason, so I'm not into musicals at all. So I don't have a favorite Broadway show. I've seen well, not quite a few, but I've seen enough. I saw Cats and Les Mis. I hated Les Mis. Oh man, that was awful. One of my most hated topics in books is the French Revolution. I just cannot stand it. I hate all the revolutionizers. That was a bad civil war. Okay, anyways. Back to TV, my favorite TV show. Whatever show I'm watching at the moment always ends up being my favorite show. But I've been trying to think if I had an all-time favorite show, and there's lots of them that, you know, I watch the repeats of, or I have rewatched the entire season from front to end. I just did that with Criminal Minds. It was the last season this year, so it's all over and finished. But before that started, I said to myself, well, I'm going to rewatch this right from the beginning all the way up to the final thing. So I watched the final episode just after it had aired, so I didn't have to wait for any. I didn't have to wait for any episodes to air. When I was watching it, it was all done. So I really enjoyed that, but I wouldn't call that my favorite show. I think if I had, like, if I thought of what was my favorite show, and it's so much my favorite, I would like them to come back with more episodes, then I would say Firefly, because that didn't have anywhere near enough episodes, and they finished it way too early. It should have had a lot more to it. So, yeah. That's my favorite TV show. My favorite YouTube is just all the coloring channels that I watch. I watch a lot of YouTube channels. And the coloring ones, I don't have, well, I have a few, but I'm not going to name them because it's not fair to the other channels that I enjoy. I don't want to hurt my channel's feelings if I call a few out as being my favorite. I do have some that are my favorites that, you know, I get all giddy when I see that they've, you know, when I go and grab my coffee and stuff, when I see that they've got a nice long post out, especially if it is a coloring book haul or a flip, like a combined flip through, not just a flip through of books, but like, well, I guess it's in hauls. If they're flipping through their new books. Oh, that, I know what I mean, is finished pages. So my favorite YouTube shows, I'm going to say that, are finished coloring page channels, episodes. And then it's quotes. Oh no, sorry, movie. Again, this is tough. I do not watch a lot of movies now. I was brought up in a house that watched movies continuously. My dad, for his whole entire life, was a classic movie buff and collector. So I've seen a lot of movies that other people haven't seen, you know, because of their rareness and stuff. And I guess I was exposed to stuff that other children my age weren't at the time. Or not my age, but I mean in my time. So I know a lot about old movies, and I like old movies better than I like modern movies. So I haven't watched a modern movie since, I mean, we're talking years, a couple of years. So, I was thinking about it, and my answer is my all-time favorite, best movie, which I have watched multiple times, and if it was on TV right now, I would go watch it, and if it was on TV in 2 months, I would watch it. I would always watch it if I found it. If it came across it, I'd stop and I'd watch this movie, and that is Arsenic and Old Lace, starring Cary Grant. Cary Grant is my favorite all-time actor. I think he was an absolutely brilliant comic. I like his dramatic stuff as well, but his talent laid in his, I'm trying to think of a longer word for comic, but he just had comic genius. And Arsenic and Old Lace is a show that has me on the floor, just rolling in laughter every time I see it. There are a couple of just iconic moments when Cary Grant will just turn his head, and the look on his face is just enough to make you fall off your chair with laughter, honestly. If you can stand watching black and white movies, and this one is from this one's pretty early. I'm sure it's early 40s. I'd be surprised if it was later than that. So there, that's 7 done. Oh no, now I need to list 3 things. What are 3 qualities you like in a best friend? Well, I don't have any friends in the outside world because I don't leave my house very much. I don't leave my room much, and pretty much the only time I leave my bed, except for doctor's appointments, is to travel over to this table here and do some filming. But for someone I would be close to, like a friend, I would want them to have, the first most important quality would be humor, my sense of humor, so that they didn't get offended by it. A lot of people can't tell if I'm joking, and that's because I have a dry wit, which I guess comes from my British heritage and my growing up with 2 strongly British parents. But yes, no, I did that. This is a dark color. So what do you mean? What question are we on? So what have I said? Okay, so who has my kind of humor, because I appreciate it in other people, and I would like so I would appreciate in them, and I'd like them to be able to appreciate it in me. The other one is truthful. Someone who's, and I'm not actually talking trust, that I could trust them, but I suppose trust comes with it. But I would like someone who's truthful, doesn't who doesn't tell lies as a general rule of thumb. There are a lot of people who, I mean, they don't go around telling big whoppers and trying to deceive people, but there are a lot of people who just aren't truthful. Anything they say, they'll get something about it won't be right. You know, they're either trying to make the person sound better, or they're making them sound worse, or they're trying to make the event sound more exciting than it was, or, you know, it's not bad mean-spiritedness, but it just would like someone who is truthful, because for myself, I pretty much don't lie. I can omit the truth by not saying anything. I mean, if I don't say it, I'm not lying. I can go that route. But again, that's because I'm truthful. That I can't say something that's wrong. I would rather just not say it. And then if I'm called upon, then yes, the truth does come out with me. That looks enough with the dark color. And I guess we need to get that rope up there too, because that's rope. Now, is this my medium shade or my lightest shade? This is medium. Okay, let's do that rope now, because it's bothering me. Alright, can you see the rope? Yes, you can. You can see the rope. Who can see the rope? I can see the rope. Do you see the rope? Yes, I see the rope. Okay, sorry. I do stuff like that, and I'm sorry. I just did it. Okay, so that's only 2. Oh my god. And I think my qualities are too high. I think I'm setting the bar too high for this poor friend who I would someday possibly have. Okay, I did humor. And truthful. Is fun the same as humor? I'm going to say it's not. I want somebody who can have fun. Somebody who can just drop a hat and do something wild and crazy, because that's the way I am, even though I'm an introvert and I don't like I can't go into a room and suddenly own the place. You know, I'm a wallflower going into a room full of people. But I'll do things. I'll have fun, and I'll do crazy things. If someone tells me to do something, I do it. One time at Mass in the morning, I yelled out to the priest. Like, this was before Mass started, and he was up on the, I never know the name for the platform area. I used to call it a stage, but people got insulted by that, so I cannot remember what it's called. But he's up there and he's setting all the you know, the stuff out, the chalice and the, you know, and all the stuff that needs to be there. And I yell out. There's a good amount of people there already, but not too many. I yell out, "You're doing it wrong!" Because my friend then, like when I used to go to Mass regularly, the morning Mass, we kind of become, the whole group of us kind of became a group of friends, because, you know, there's not that many people who go to morning Masses. So the person next to me, who was one of my better friends at the time, she dared me to, so she had watched. She was good friends with him, and she had watched a show on how you laid out all that stuff, not in the too distant past. And so she was talking to me, and she was saying, you know, he did that wrong. That's supposed to go there, and he's supposed to put this thing there first. He said, he's doing it all wrong. Yell out, tell him that he's doing it wrong. Yell it out to him. So I did. That's the kind of person I am. And then, of course, she died. So I guess that's enough. We'll go on to number 9, or else this is going to take 2 hours. Number 9. What is your dream? Well, when I first heard that that was one of the questions, I was thinking, I don't have a dream. My dream used to be to own a house. Well, we're at the part where we've got 3 years left before we have to renegotiate our mortgage, and then we'll just have 3 years left. So we've almost paid off the house. So I guess my dream now is to somehow, some way, someday get enough money so that we could fix her up, because she's in dire needs of being fixed. There's a lot of things wrong with the house, and a lot of things that are going to need to be fixed very soon, because they're just going to completely break. And we're not financially set up for that. So yeah, I would like somehow for the money to come in so we could just go full hog and fix all the things that are, and I don't even mean like renovate in the sense of like, oh, I don't like the color on the walls, you know, let's do this and have color coordinating that and bring in all new furniture. You know, I'll keep what I have, but let's fix the stuff that's broken. And the walls need painting because they're the same color they were when we moved in here 20 odd years ago. So that's my dream. Okay, so now with number 10, we come to something that I knew I was going to have to bring up. And that is, the question is, which would seem to be simple, is do you wear makeup? Well, I have 2 answers to that, because I basically have two parts of my life. I have when I could walk, and now when I can't get about without aid. So what that did, the major change it made in my life, is that I used to be a walker. I would walk all over the neighborhood. I had a plan every day where I walked downtown. I had gotten to know some of the store owners, so I would walk in just to have a chat, have a little look around, maybe buy something that day, but not every week. So they knew me as a customer and as just a friend. And so I'd go down and I'd do that, and I'd go into the other stores too that I didn't know the owners. And then when I was up at the top of the street, there's a little thrift store there. I would go in there, usually buy something, because I was a thrift store-aholic at that time in my life. And then I'd work my way back until I got to the corner that I would turn up to get to my street, which is parallel to the downtown street. And our downtown is like any small town's downtown. Okay, so I need to color that, so let's do that. I said I was going to do the rope and I never did. Oh, I wanted to use my medium color too. Okay, so I'm getting carried away with these. I can never tell a short story. So I'm just going to say that before, when I went out all the time, I was a makeup whore. Sorry, but that's how much I was into makeup. I have a drawer full of eyeshadow palettes. I'm just addicted to them. I like independent makers, like indie makers. Not just the stuff, I didn't buy the stuff that you bought at the drugstore. I would go to Sephora for high-end stuff. I would go online for independent stuff that you couldn't get in stores. and I wore a full face of makeup every single day. I got up in the morning and I spent approximately 2 hours getting ready for the day, even if I wasn't going to go anywhere. I wanted to look my best for myself, and it made me feel good about myself. Because I could be going out at any time, and then I'd do a refresher, which would take me like 15 minutes just to freshen up the makeup, and I could go out. But now that I can't get out on my own, and I very rarely go anywhere, I don't wear any makeup at all, unless I'm going to somewhere that's not a doctor's appointment. Then I will put on concealer, foundation, and powder, because I have a lot of red blotchiness on my skin, and I wouldn't go out with people who know me with my face looking like that. I would want it to be smooth and matte and nice. Alright, let me figure out which one of these is. That's my darkest color. Oh, I can't even tell. That color or that color. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to use this color. So that's Do You Wear Makeup? What makes you cry? I am not a crier. The only thing, I'm bipolar. I don't think I've mentioned that before on this channel, but I am actually diagnosed bipolar, and I take medication for it, which keeps me on an even keel most of the time, but it doesn't mean that I don't have it. I don't go into a deep depression, and I don't go into a state of hyperness. I still do. They're just not as, the down isn't as down without the meds, and the high isn't as high as it would be without the meds. So that's basically the time I cry, is when I'm in a depression. I'll cry at anything. Just a drop of a hat will set me off, and I'll be crying. What makes you angry? The news. That's easy, because a couple of years ago I stopped watching the news. My psychiatrist and my therapist together around the same time, independently of each other, told me to stop watching the news because it was causing me so many problems. I just got so upset about the news. So I stopped watching it, and that's when I quit. That's when I quit Facebook for 2 years. Yeah, so because there was too much advertising on Facebook, that I got rid of it, because there was always news on the right-hand side of the screen. I don't even know what that part of YouTube looks like anymore. I just do groups on there. So yes, the news makes me angry. I have gotten a bit back into the news a wee bit. I have Google News update me on major Canadian events, major world events, and any local news. I've also got it set as a I forget what those things are called, but I have it set up that if it mentions the name Trudeau or it mentions the name Trump, I don't get notified. So I have absolutely no clue, no idea, and I don't want to know what either of those two people are doing. And that's all I'll say about politics. What makes me happy? That is actually a little tougher. What makes me happy is the little things, actually. Just the little things make me happy. My kids giving me a card for Mother's Day makes me happy. Sitting close to my husband on the couch and watching a movie together, that would make me happy. used to make me so happy when my kids were little and they would pick a weed for me and give it to me as a flower. And they picked it especially for me, or they picked a real flower out of a neighbor's garden. Yeah, and all kids do that. I remember doing it. What is fangirling? Well, fangirling is when you are absolutely obsessed and adore and are in love with someone or something. I used to be a fangirl for Michael Bublé. I've been to his concert twice, and I followed every single thing about him and would like melt into oblivion at just seeing him. And we were close enough that I saw his spit when when we went to one of his concerts. I kept saying that I saw his spit. I saw Michael Bublé spit. And they'd be, well, did it get on you? And I'm like, no, it didn't, but I saw it. I don't anymore. Ever since his son was hurt in that accident and he went quiet for a while. I still love him and I'm still interested in him, but I'm more interested in him as a family man now. I know he shares my faith, and I'm always interested in how he, his wife, his children are doing. And of course, he gets a new video out, I watch it and that stuff, but I'm not fangirling on him anymore. 15. What are 3 of your favorite snacks? Chocolate, chocolate, and chocolate. I'm sorry, but that is my favorite all-time snack is chocolate. And not chocolate flavored. I don't like anything that's chocolate flavored, like brownies or chocolate cake. I mean real chocolate. And I can be a bit of a snob about chocolate too, because I know I can tell the difference between a candy bar you got from the store and, some real Swiss milk chocolate. What are 3 of your favorite foods? Well, I don't have any favorite foods because, this goes into a long one again. I guess I'm going to have to go for an hour and a half, and then the other half makes 2 hours. Oh well, hopefully this is interesting to you guys. 3 of my favorite foods. Yeah. I had bariatric surgery probably 15 years ago. I lost 150 pounds and I gained back 150 pounds, and I now have incredible digestive problems. I can't eat solid food. So I only eat well, I don't want to say fluids, it's the step up. I can eat cottage cheese, but not a lot, one bit at a time. I can eat pudding. The thing that I eat the most is protein drinks, smoothies. I have smoothies where everything's all blended up, and that's where I get my nutritions from. Plus, I take supplements for everything that my body needs. My blood work is done every couple of months to see what my vitamin levels are at. So yeah, I don't have a favorite food. The food that I eat, I did before that happened, but yeah, so I don't have a favorite food now. Food either tastes nice or it doesn't. Okay, my favorite drinks, that's easy. Coffee, Diet Dr. Pepper, and scotch. And I mean real scotch, a malt scotch from Scotland. Not any of this blended, crap, I guess is what I'll say. Like a pure malt scotch. My favorite is Glenfiddich. Can you tell us a little about yourself? 10 random facts, oh my god. When I was about 10, I fell into a river when I was walking across the ice in the middle of winter, That was one hell of a story. I'm Catholic. My big toe on my right foot is missing its nail. It's nailless. I was born in England and immigrated to Canada when I was 18 months old, and I'm still a British citizen. I have 2 children, both boys, one is 31, and the other one is 20. The 20-year-old is autistic. My 30-year-old homeschooled all the way through until he went to university, and he is now in management at a software company, shall we say. He's a team leader, and other than that, I don't really understand what he does. But I guess that wasn't about me, but I'm still going to count it, because it's hard to come up with random facts of yourself. I like French fry sandwiches. Of course, I grew up British, so we called them chip sandwiches. We never used the word buddy. That was my Scottish uncle who called them chip buddies, but we just called them a chip sandwich. Also ate potato chip sandwiches. Just butter your bread, put in some potato chips, and eat away. My mother would make those for me for my school lunches. Can you imagine what they would do to her now? Talk about unhealthy. I've tried probably every hobby that has been invented, at least a little bit. The only things I can think that I've never done is spinning. And beading. Okay, you know what? So I've never done speeding or beading, but I've done pretty much every other craft that there is. And for my 5th one, I don't like fiddly bits. Anything that has fiddly bits, and I am not there. I have left the building. That's why I have never even considered diamond painting, because that is just one great big mess of fiddly bits. No, I like to cross stitch with thread. That doesn't have fiddly bits, but I wouldn't do beading either, because and I never have. I don't even use beads in my mixed media work because they're too fiddly. So yeah, and that's the 10th thing. What are 3 fun things you like to do? Well, my fun things aren't very active. Obviously, I find coloring fun. I also find reading fun. And I guess the last thing I like is video telephoning my sister. That is fun. What best describes where you live? Okay, well, my town, or small city, can be called 2 things. It is a border town. I can walk to the U.S.-Canada bridge that you cross the river. I live on the street where the river is at the end of. So we're a border town to the U.S., obviously. And we're also a tourist town. Everybody knows that Niagara Falls is a tourist destination. Okay, so now we're getting to the part where it uses the word craft or crafty, and I'm going to substitute the word coloring. So what is your coloring style? Straightforward. I do straight coloring with both my pencils and my markers. That's what I do naturally. I do like to play around with them, so I will do some stuff where I'm blending, and I have a couple of cute little techniques I've learned that I really enjoy to do. But mainly when I sit down to color, it starts off as plain, straight. coloring. What is your most used coloring tool? Okay, well that's got to be my alcohol markers. What is your most wished for coloring tool? My most wished for, what I did wish for some Neo2s, but I have them now. I guess it would be like anybody else, and I wish for a complete set of either luminance or Holbeins. That would be my most coloring wish. What is your favorite brand? I gotta say Derwent. I have a ton of their stuff. Erasers, pencil sharpeners. I showed you that pencil holder thing that I adore. I love ink tints and color softs and their watercolors, though I don't have a set of them right now. That's one of the things I'd really like to get, is their set of watercolors. So what is your, okay, so we'll use the word craft here. What is your favorite craft? Well, coloring. Before that, it was mixed media, and before that, it was knitting and crocheting. And at one point, I'll be strictly knitting, and one point, I'll be strictly crocheting, and other points, I'll be doing both. And then as we go back in time, that would change. I'm a type of person who gets into a hobby. I'll say hobby instead of craft. I like it better. Who gets into a hobby and then learns everything that they have to know, and I get all the supplies for it, and I'm really, really deep into it. I mean, I may not be an expert at it, but I know. Like, I don't layer, but ask me how to layer, and I can tell you how. Yeah, that's the OCD in me. My psychiatrist has diagnosed me with OCD, but I refused to take any medicine for it, and I told him that I didn't think I was OCD. I think that because I have Asperger's, that I am obsessive, and I'm more obsessive than I am compulsive. I only have a few compulsivities, and I have a lot of obsessions. Obsession should be my middle name. Do you have any pets? No, I do not have a pet, but there is a cat living in our house, and he is my son's pet. When is your favorite time to color? I color all day long. My favorite time is in the middle of the day when I'm awake. If I'm awake, then I like to color in the day when I get the most natural sunlight. Do you have a favorite non-crafty YouTube channel? And yes, that would have to be Simon Whistler. He is the host of many different shows. He's kind of like the guy with the most shows on YouTube. Well, I watch 3 of them. I watch his biographics, which are biographies, about half-hour biographies on people from all sectors of history. I watch his top 10s with a Z at the end, 10s, Z. That's just a top 10 listing channel, but he doesn't do the, I don't know what the word is, but just the, the Hollywood stuff. He doesn't do anything like that. He does interesting things, and, like real, they can get meaty, they can be funny, they can be all sorts of things. You never know what he's going to do for his top 10. And then I also watch his Today I Found Out, and that's just a show where he finds out something new and he tells us about it. He researches it a bit and he tells us about it. So yes, that's my favorite non-crafting channel. What is your favorite store? Amazon. What is your favorite restaurant? It's called Taps, and it's our local pub, which is just down the street from us. You walk half a block from my house, turn the corner, and they're at the end of that street. What is your favorite magazine? At the moment, it's Mystery Colors. Who is your favorite author? I have so many favorite authors that I can't name them. No, I can't. I can't name my favorite author. I mean, one author that I like a lot is, I mean, I could say Stephen King, but, you know, that's something that a lot of people would say. And if I try to think of something more literary, Charles Dickens, I've read all his main titles, so I would like to get to the other ones. And that's enough. What are your favorite shoes? This is a sore point with me, because before, when I could walk, I was a shoe whore, and I mean, and more than I was whatever I said I was, a makeup whore. Yeah, I had, which is a really sensitive thing to say too, a humongous collection of high-heeled shoes, and I just loved wearing them. I loved 3 to 4 inch platform shoes. Those were my favorite. And oh, I had some nice shoes, let me tell you. My favorite pair was actually, it had not a spike, as in, you know, the kind you can use to kill somebody with, but very thin-heeled shoe that was black leather, and it had about a 4-inch heel. And was it platform? Yeah, it was platform, and it was all black, but it had these overlaying straps on the top of it, and then it had pink piping around the edges, and ooh, those were nice. Those were really nice. And finally, number 34, we made it. Number 34, what is your favorite time of year? And that is easy, it is autumn. I love autumn. You can go outside in a sweater and just enjoy your day. You can put on a cardigan and enjoy your day. You don't need to have the air conditioner on. You don't need to have the heater on. You can just live with the temperature, the air that you get from outdoors. So that is the whole entire list, and I am going to tag 3 people, but you're going to have to look in the description below, because I am going to go back to my last Color and Chat vlog. That would be number 4. Go back to number 4, and anybody who commented on that vlog from yesterday back, I'm going to pick some people who have channels and tag them. And if you're already tagged, that's okay. You are doing 2 for the price of 1, or you know, you can just count it done as for me as well, and you know, or just whatever. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Don't do it twice, please. So yeah. And if you haven't been tagged but you'd love to do this, then start your own tag going. Just go ahead and do it. Nobody tagged you, but at the end you tag 3 people, and you'll start the tag going around again to the people who didn't get to it, didn't get tagged the first time. So I am going to end there, and this, because of the time that this took, I think this was fun. I certainly enjoyed being able to color in pencils on screen and not be all nervous and subconscious about it. I think that, you know what, I may find some other types of where you get like 10 questions and you have to answer them. I think I'm going to look for those, because I think that's a fun thing to do on this channel. This one's a bit long, but hopefully you don't run screaming now that you know those things about me. I am a nice person. I don't know if I made myself sound not by what I said. Yeah, so you know what I'd like you guys to do is list in the comments things I can talk about, like the topic or the thing. You know, is there something that you would like me to start using on the channel that I'm not using already? Something you'd like to see me use? Is there a coloring book that you've seen that I have that you would like me to color in on screen? You know, if you ask me to use a tool or a book, which I don't have, and it does interest me personally, I'll add it to my to-buy list and get it in the not too distant future and put it on screen for you. I'm up to that. So yeah, do all those things. And I'd just like to remind you that if you watch an ad, just one ad that pops up on this video, you're really helping me out. I get a payment at the end of the month when my amount has reached $100, and that's a great amount for me to go out and buy some stuff for this channel. Any money I get from the channel goes into the channel. And just so you know, I'm not going out buying myself shoes. Good Lord, no shoes. With the money. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye. And you know what? It's kind of hard to say goodbye. Like, I feel like I've gotten to know you guys. I love the comments that you leave me. So, yeah, please leave a comment. If you've never left me a comment before, but you like to watch me, just say hi, that's it, and I'll say hi back. And, you know, I know you're there. If you want to leave a long, detailed comment, then yeah, I love those, and I'll talk back to you, and who knows. So, yeah, I will guess I am going to see you in next week. So, have yourselves a lovely week. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep coloring, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.